What's up you guys, it's Ben and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything there is relating to selling on Amazon. So for those of you that have got everything already sorted, i.e. your business bank account, your Amazon seller account, and you are now onto the product research stage, which niches do I personally recommend to you and all of my students to start off with? There are so many niches to sell on Amazon FBA, you can very easily get lost when it comes to product research. And picking the right niche really matters because some can be more competitive than others, some may have potential restrictions, and some may not potentially you be allowed to sell on at all whatsoever. So in this video, what I want to do is break down the 5 most common, the best and the easiest niches for you guys to get into, and the ones that have the most variety in them for you to make a quick profit, so then you can potentially expand your business and move into more difficult niches. And with that being said guys, if you are interested in selling on Amazon and you want some additional help, you don't feel too secure about starting your Amazon FBA business, then please don't forget to check the links down below for my own personal mentorship, where I will help you and guide you every step of the way of how to sell on Amazon the right way. Otherwise guys, if you're running on a relatively lower budget but you still want to use some of the business tools that I use, then please don't forget to check the links down below for awesome, by far the most reliable e-commerce accountants out there in the market. With my link you'll get £100 off. Helium 10, the best product research tool out there in the market, and you'll get 50% off. Or Tide, the best and most user-friendly business bank account that will register your company and set up your business bank account all in one place. And with that being said guys, let's get straight to the video. The very first niche that we all have to talk about is beauty. Now why do I say that? Well, I personally myself started selling in the beauty niche, which is what started this whole Amazon FBA business. It was the beauty niche that really made me my first money, and I really hold that dear to my heart because I do believe there is a lot of products in beauty that can be very viable options for a lot of new sellers out there. What I like about beauty is that there's so many products out there and such variety of price points that it can really be good for customers or sellers that are starting out in a relatively lower budget, i.e. anything from £500 all the way up to £2,000. For those people that do have higher budgets, they can actually even release a range of products in a particular niche on beauty and see that flourish quite well as well. What I also find about beauty is that usually the markups, the ROI for those products is actually one of the best niches out there in the market at the moment, i.e. basically buying something for £1 or £2, it's much easier to transfer that to £4, i.e. double your money, than in some of the other niches out there on Amazon FBA. Now, of course guys, the drawback of beauty is that some sub niches have got a very big brand loyalty around it. So as you can see here, if we just go down, and I'm not obviously a big fan, not big sort of I don't know much about beauty. Of course, this is much more suited for female sellers out there. But as you can see, the very first products, Nivea, Maybelline, Garnier, all of these brands, even I know myself. And you guys have to be really careful of the sub niches that you want to get into. If you, for example, go for a new mascara, you know that you're going to have to go up against Maybelline. So your mascara better be really good and something very different. Otherwise, customers are much more likely to buy from a brand that they know, they heard of, and they trust, even at a higher price than somebody like you who nobody has ever heard of before. That being said, there is still opportunity in those niches, but you may think that you may find that it's a little bit more difficult. However, that being said, like I said, there are still so many sub niches out there that are not brand oriented that you can very easily start off your Amazon FBA journey just like I did. The second niche that I want to speak about, and this is probably going to be the most obvious one, is of course the toys niche. Especially right now in Q4, this is probably by far the best niche to be in on Amazon FBA, because toys and games, regardless of which toy you're selling, is most likely going to be doing relatively well in Q4. The problem with this particular niche is twofold. Number one, some of the toys can be slightly higher priced, and the shipping for them can be a little bit more expensive as well, because majority of the toys do come in big boxes and they do take quite a while to ship, and the shipping costs can be quite expensive. The problem with that as well is that toys relatively are big in size, and if they don't sell as well as you have expected, then you may be stuck with a lot at the storage unit, paying the storage cost each and every single month. Okay, and the last drawback I'll say about toys is the fact that it's usually a little bit higher priced. Okay, unlike beauty where you can easily find something for 50 cents, £1, £2. Toys usually go up a little bit more expensive, i.e. 3, 4, 5, £6. And at the same time, you do get to sell them a little bit more expensive as well. So where beauty is usually around £7 to £10 in most products, toys can go anything from 12 to 15 to 20 and upwards. Now, like I said, the most beautiful thing about toys is usually they go really well in Q4, and the ROI gets really good as well, because most people sell out on toys, and therefore you can increase your price and therefore get more profit for each and every single item that you sell. Also, another drawback for toys, guys, is the fact that you actually, after Christmas, they really die out pretty quickly, because majority of the toys have been bought out. Customers are not really looking to buy any more toys in January and February, so therefore that niche is relatively slow, which is why, in my personal opinion, if you do go into the toys niche, you also have to potentially think about going into other niches as well that will offset that decline in sales in Q1 in most cases. Also, guys, just before we move on to the next niche, toys niche can sometimes be gated, especially if it has some sort of harmful substances or potentially harmful substances. You may actually have to add some sort of paperwork to Amazon to tell them that your products are completely safe and that you accept all liability with them. I personally have had done 6 times. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't go into toys niches. It's actually a positive, because the more obstacles Amazon throw your way, the better the niche is, because a lot of fresh new sellers that don't know how to overcome these obstacles will potentially move on to something else. Next up, babies. Okay, baby products are very good to sell on Amazon FBA, and the reason why I like this niche a lot is the fact that when it comes to babies, weddings and funerals, in my personal opinion, people don't really care how much money they pay. They just want to get the best stuff possible as soon as possible. Okay, and with babies it's brilliant, because you can really, if you have a good item and if it's got good reviews, okay, you can really increase the price and differentiate yourself from the rest of the market, because your product has got very high quality. If I had to guess, I personally believe that reviews matter the most in the baby niche. Okay, so it's a relatively high risk, high reward niche, because if your product is great, you've looked at the samples, you love the product, this is exactly what you know you're getting, then you can do really well in the baby niche. However, guys, if your product is terrible and it gets a few negative reviews and your review score drops below 4 stars, say goodbye to that niche, because effectively nobody's going to buy that from you. If they're shopping for their babies, believe me, very few people will actually be buying for a product that's got 3.5 star rating. So you have to be really careful with that one, and I personally have been burnt before myself. Next up, sports and outdoors. This is a very good niche, and what I like about this one is it offsets, like I said earlier, the Q1 decline in sales of toys. Okay, sports and outdoors is what a lot of people really tend to think about when it comes to Q1, because they just had Christmas, they now have New Year's resolutions, they want to go into the gym and so on. There are so many products in sports and outdoors that are not really branded, that don't have much brand loyalty, that you can really get into. There's a very big variety of prices, anything from £5 all the way up to £25-30, and you can really sell a lot of these products in Q1 when people are adamant to go to the gym, to go outdoors, to go outside, to play whatever sport they want to play and so on. What I also like about this niche is it also does really well in summer, because in summer, of course, when the weather is better, most people want to get outside, out of their house, and want to encourage their kids, children, whatever, to participate in as many sports as possible. So simple things such as a football, a basketball, a football pump, a bike light, or anything, those sort of products can easily really do really well for you, especially at those times of the year. Now, like I said, you have to be careful and always make sure, if you're going to go into that niche, check Google Trends. You don't want to buy a product that you think is going to do well throughout the year, just to come to realize that you are on the downward trajectory effectively, and you will basically suffer from low sales over the next few months. This is, again, speaking from my own experience, this is exactly what happened to me a couple of months ago, and I will not be making that mistake again, and I want to make sure that none of my students make that mistake either. And last but not least, a niche that everybody seems to forget, this is probably the least competitive niche that I can think of, and that is luggage. Now, why do people not think about it too much? That's because a lot of these products sell well during when people are actually leaving the country around the holiday season. However, if they actually look into it a little bit further, there's a lot of products in that niche that sell well, very well throughout the year. Now, of course, there are some negatives to it. The main one, the big one, is the fact that majority of the products in this niche are relatively big in size, okay? And because they are big in size, the shipping is going to be relatively expensive. However, guys, just like I said before, this is a relatively not competitive niche, number one, and in my personal opinion, it doesn't have many brand loyalty customers. It doesn't have many very well-known brands in the luggage space. I personally can't name of one. Can you guys? This is a very, very different niche to beauty niche, where it has loads of very well-known brands that you really don't want to compete against. So that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I really hope you found it useful. I really hope it helps you choose a particular niche that you want to get into. And remember, just because you picked one niche for your first product doesn't mean that your second product has to be in that same niche. You can move around. This is exactly what I have done. And through experience, throughout time, you will realize which niches you like, which niches do better for you, and which niches you should be focusing on in the near future. However, from my personal perspective, in my opinion, these are the niches that I like the most, and this is where majority of my products are being sold at. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.